Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to take about the Agile ISMS. So this is a product. So Agile ISMS is an IT integrated tool which helps streamline the whole audit process. So there are various modules that helps streamlining the process. And why Agile ISMS and why FixNext is? So due to increase in regulatory environment, most of the organizations need to comply with multiple regulations. Often they are done without proper planning and insight. So this results in creation of different teams and duplicating their efforts and results in high cost of compliance, where our product comes into play to streamline the whole process and helps follow compliance as a culture in your organization. So here, in any organizations, for an instance, there'll be a hierarchy of employees like super admin, admin, auditor, and auditees. So I'm logging in user as an auditor. So this is the overall dashboard of the auditor. So here you'll be able to have the status, so in progress, and the published audit and the planning. And here is what you'll find the different types of audits, whether it's going to be internal audit, external audit, and the regulators. And so once, okay, so this is, so our tool helps to follow the regulations, the multiple regulations simultaneously using our tool. So walking in through the audit module here. So at the initial stage, the auditor will view the calendar about the task that he has to complete on the same. So when the auditor is asked to prepare for the audit process, likewise, it is going to be ISO 27001 or a HIPAA or SOC compliance. As an auditor, I'm going to plan for the audit process at the initial stage. For an instance, I'm planning it as Geo. The audit type will be ISO demo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and my scope would be to get certification, and I'll define my objective, the context, deliverables, and issues on the same. Maybe for an instance, I'll copy paste the current stage. My objective also will be to get the certifications, the context. Meanwhile, you fill in all the details on the same. So here I'm going to plan for the audit process. So whether it is going to be internal audit, external audit, regulators, or self audit. Internal audit is used within the organization between the different teams in the firm. The external audit is when you prepare or for the regulatory board and the external audit comes into play, the software, you use this for the external audit. The regulators is the regulatory board like ISO 27001 or a HIPAA team who's coming in for the regulators. On the self audit, we use it for the self assessment on the same. For instance, let me walk you through the internal audit. So this location, I'm selecting as Chennai, and the department would be internal audit, and the team would be the audit team here. So the complaints type, there are two types of complaints, the complaints audit and the internal policy audit here. So I'm going to create a complaint type for the complaints audit, and here is where you find the different standards that we have pre-populated data. So maybe for an instance, let me take you through the ISO 27001. Here, this start date and end date will define the audit process between which time the audit has to be completed, and this helps in sending the reminder emails at the regular interval of time. So here is I'm going to select the auditor. So I'll select it as the auditor, and the auditee would be demo. If you could see, so this plus option here is where you can assign the multiple auditees for a particular audit process on the same. For an instance, so this save as a plan will help you save this process in the draft. Whether the information is incomplete, I wanted to continue at the next step, you can save this as a plan. And this initiate audit, use it for initiating the audit process on the same. So here I initiate the audit process. So if you could see, you'll be listed out in this list. So as an auditor, my task is not completed. I need to assign the certain artifacts to the employee. So if you could find, this is ISO demo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. And here in this do option, as an auditor, I'm going to have the predefined functionalities as do, check, act, and publish. So here, maybe I'll select the particular checklist. For an instance, I'm selecting management commitment to information security and information security coordination as the artifact that is needed to be done by the auditor demo and the auditee demo that he's going to assign. And here is where you find the checklist, the information security policy, and okay, maybe the architectural test also I'll do it. So here is I find the checklist as infosec SPOC for the project present. So I'm going to set the priority. So this prioritize the work for both the auditor and auditee on the same. So maybe for an instance, if the priority is set as high, the reminder emails goes every day to the auditee. And if it is set as medium, okay, it will be 3 days once. If it is set as low, 5 days once. And this is configurable based upon the priority that we set. And this is where you assign the owner, okay, whom the task is needed to be done. And here is where I assign the target date, maybe for an instance. So let me give it as 23. And here, let me give it as 25 on the same. And I will ask the auditee to perform the task. Once I've submitted the ask, the auditee will be notified in the email that the auditor that has assigned some task and the auditee needed to complete the task. So here I'm signing in user as an auditee. So here where in the do functionality where you find the particular task assigned by the auditee here. So here I'll find the ISO demo 123456 and the entity type as geo that the auditor has assigned. And here I'm going to respond to a particular task and I'm going to attach an artifact or an evidence for the proof. Now, once I've done this, I'll submit it for the recommendation. Signing in user as an auditor again, the auditor will be notified that the auditee has responded to the task. Now, as an auditor, I'm going to check upon the responses given by the auditee demo. And if you could find it, okay, so here is where you find the comments. And here we will find the artifact or an evidence that has been attached. So here, as an auditor, I'm going to give the recommendations and the reason. Maybe for an instance, I'll give it as more clarity required. And the reason will be data insufficient. And I'm going to extend some time for him. So in order to complete the task. And if we could see this is status will help identify whether the task is completed or not. I'm going to keep the recommendation or the status as open. So which means that, okay, that the auditee has to redo the particular task. And this scoring model helps analyze where we stand in the risk. So if it is scored more than, okay, if it is scored lesser than 3, which means that he has to redo the task. And I'm going to give the scoring model here. And maybe for the second task, I'll give some positive responses as done, and the reason would be satisfied. I'm giving the closure date today, and I'll give the status as close the recommendations and the scoring as 3. You could see the status once I click on the score button. If you could see the status is being changed to completed. Now I'm going to perform the overall score here. After I perform the overall score, so the auditee will be responded that he has to act upon the recommendations given by the auditor on the same. So signing in user as an auditee here, you could find it, the ISO demo, he's going to act upon the responses. He will have a mini dashboard overlook stating with the recommendations given and the priority and the severity of the task. And here, if the auditee is not satisfied by the recommendations given, the auditee can also raise an issue in order to block the recommendations or dependent recommendations on the same. Here, the auditee will give the corrective action and the preventive actions. The corrective action is the short-term solutions for a particular task, and the preventive action is the long-term solutions that is needed to be done. The corrective actions may be, so since I'll put it as the corrective action as data collected, the preventive action would be various tests performed, and I will respond to the task. And maybe for the instance, this corrective action is, so since he is satisfied, I'll give the corrective action, the preventive action as nil and nil. I'll respond to it. And once this process has been successful, now as an auditor, I have the rights to publish the particular task. So maybe for an instance, okay, I'm publishing the task with the incomplete data. Maybe for an instance, The auditor observations, I'm giving the observation as good, and the remarks is maybe I'll give it as great. And now I'm going to give the option as observe. So now I'm going to give the option as published. If you could see the notification popping up, still some observations are pending. Are you still wanted to publish this audit? So if you could see, the second task is still on the pending process, as I need to approve the particular task, but still if I'm going to give the option as okay, the particular task is being published. So we have restricted the access in order to view the report. The report maybe can be accessed only by the higher authority, or the access that has been granted to the particular personality on the scene. Maybe for an instance, here I'll give the option. Maybe for an instance, ISO demo, I'll see the report here. So here is where I get the audit complaints rating 12.5. So here the auditor and auditees can have a clear understanding and improve the quality of the internal audit life cycle, which helps them improve the complaints rating. And as the external process, so when an external audit comes into say, when he sees the clear audit process, he'll be satisfied on the same. And here is where you find the audit complaints rating, whether it is based upon the different domains that we give and based upon the maximum score and the actual score that is being perceived. And here is where you'll be able to clear the audit details and to do list on the same. So this is how the audit module works. Now I'm going to quickly walk you through all the other 8 modules in another 5 minutes of time. So let me just give you a bird's eye view about how the risk works, policy works, asset, BCPM, incident, control, and fraud works. If you could find it, the risk, policy, asset, BCPM, incident, control, fraud, and audit communicate each other. So as I've mentioned before, we are a pure play SaaS model, which helps communicate between all the 8 modules and helps follow compliance as a culture in organizations with the least cost in productions. Maybe for an instance, I'm going to tell during the internal audit life cycle, I'm going to file a risk, whether the data is corrupted or the data is insufficient. I will file a risk on the same. So here is how the risk model works. You find the different types of risks here and the status, whether it has been reviewed, rejected, initiated, or migrated. And here it's based upon the different locations, I'll be able to find it. And here is where you find the department on the same. And the risk works upon the key performance indicators and the key risk indicators. For an instance, the key performance indicators for the different types of risk, like credit risk, liquidity risk, and financial risk. So this is my type of risk. So this works upon the key performing indicators as return on asset, net interest margin, and cost to income. So this is the key performing indicators based upon which you'll get the score for the type of the risk and whether the particular risk is in the minor stage, medium stage, or the critical stage. If you could find it, if it is marked in red color, which means that the vulnerability of the risk is high and this has to be mitigated at the earliest in order to continue the audit process. This financial risk is marked in red, which means it is minor and you can continue the audit process on the same. For an instance, each module has different functionalities, as I mentioned before. So here, the risk has the functionalities as mitigate and review. For an instance, I'm going to file a risk as ISO demo 123. The reference ID would be 1001, and the complaints would be ISO 27001 or a HIPAA or a SOC compliances. Maybe for an instance, ISO 27001. Here, I'll be listed with the various controls here. For an instance, management commitment to information security coordinations, which is already been drafted based upon the control module that we have. As we mentioned before, all the modules communicate each other. Here, the risk and control communicate each other for this instance. Here, I'm going to select the particular location where all the modules are mapped and the team, and based upon which I'll select the risk owner and the mitigator who's going to mitigate the particular risk, or the person who's going to mitigate the particular action, and the reviewer is the person who's going to review the the risk that has been filed at the regular interval of time, whether it is going to be the monthly frequency or a quarterly frequency or a half yearly frequency on the same. Here, based upon which technology and which category I'll select. And here is where I describe the risk, and here with the additional notes for the references, maybe as a document or maybe as a data. So here is where I get the scoring type, whether it is going to be a classic scoring model or a dread closing model or a custom model. Maybe for an instance, let me walk you through the classic. Here is where you find the scoring model. So the formula is completely configurable based upon the organization need and the requirement. Maybe for the instance, I'll give it as likelihood into asterisk plus 2 impact, or the likelihood plus into impact plus likelihood. So here I'm going to give the likelihood as likely, the impact as major, and the vulnerability as high, and the velocity is also as high. So which means that I'm going to get an AML score crashing up to 7 or 8. So which means that it has to be mitigated at the earliest stage in order to continue the audit process. And if you could find it, so here is where I define the type of risk, whether it is going to be a strategic risk or a liquidity risk or the credit risk, based upon which I'll perform the key performing indicators, the current value on the same. So I will also file a risk on the same. If I file the risk, for an instance, let me walk you through the already defined value. So here is where I'm going to get an AML score. This is where you get the AML score, and here this type of the scoring which I've used, the classic model of scoring, and the subject and the status that is being, whether it is being the reviewed process or initiated or the migration process. And here is where I define the risk assessment and additional note on the same. Here is where you get the plan effort, whether the control, process, procedure, planning strategy, mitigation effort, the current solutions, requirements, and recommendations are being created and delivered based upon the risk. And this is the perceived score, whether it's going to be 3, 4, and whether the effectiveness is going to be the tested process or it's being completed, we will get in this. And here is where I'm going to review the whole process, whether I'm going to approve the risk or reject the risk or postpone the risk. Or if I'm going to postpone the risk, so what are the next steps that I'm going to take, whether I'm going to accept until the next review, subject as the production issue, consider for audit, postpone the management and the meeting required. And here is where I give the comments on the same. And this is how the risk works. And hi everyone, if there is any queries on the risk, audit, or any modules that I'm going to take, please subscribe and get back to us anytime and call us and reach us. And let me walk you through the policy module here. So here is where you find the different location based upon the policies, whether it is going to be the Chennai location, Bangalore locations, Patna, Mumbai, or Kerala. So here is where, for an instance, for any organization or a firm, policy plays a major role where it is important in order to define the policy at the first stage. Whether I'm going to draft a new policy. So whether it is going to be, so this is the newly drafted policy if you could find it. Maybe for an instance, so let me quickly walk you through the policy here. And here is where you get the policy. Here you define the title of the policy, whether which kind of the policy it's going to map in, and the classification and the audiences here, whether it's going to be internal or external. And here is where you define the locations based upon different location, based upon the different department in the organization or the firm, like an IT team and a sales team and a pre-sales team. You have the different kinds of team. Here I'm going to define the scope for a particular policy that I'm going to define, and the purpose of the policy and the description of the policy in detail. And for an instance, if a manager is not satisfied with the task that you or the scope that you're defining, the manager, the person has the access to review it at the regular interval of time and then approve the policy. And here is where you find the controls. So based upon which standard I'm going to define the control. It's for an instance, I'm going to give it as FISMA or a HIPAA or ISO 27001. Here is where you find the handlers, whether the policy owner is going to be demo, and the policy reviewers. You could find it. So here is where you define the multiple policy reviewers and the multiple policy approvers on the same. And finally, I'm going to define the dates with the notes and okay, effective from the particular date to the particular date in order to notify all the employees in the firm or the organization. Maybe for an instance, I'm going to define a HR policy for an onboarding employee. Here, I'm going to put the certain, I'm going to describe with the scope and the controls, and I'm going to put it across the different handlers for okay to in order to get it approved and reviewed. And here is where I define the dates which is being effective from and the expected published date where the review of the process has to be done. And here is now going to give the next review date on the same. Here is where I'm going to put the save option. If I could find it, okay, so next step would be the review process and the approve it. On the final, the policy works based upon the newly drafted and the policy that has been reviewed and the policy is approved and the policy is published on the same. Here is where you find the different, okay, the policy published. The policy published can be accessed to any number of users or employees to notify that the policy is being published. And here the yet to be reviewed task and important task will be displayed on the dashboard with the overlook calendar on the same and the okay kind of the dashboard. You get it. Now I'm walking you through the asset module. In any organization or firm, asset plays the major role and it stands first above all. Maybe for an instance, the asset status, I'm going to define it as drill it down to the different types of assets. I'm going to put it in detail. The information asset where you store on all the informations. Till now, maybe for an instance, we may not be focused on information of asset. Maybe we'll have the different passwords and that password is being okay accessible by the manager A, B, and C. For an instance, manager A, okay, and B are on the leave or okay, as in the review process, okay, or the onboarding process, he may do it with the different process. And here is where you define the different types of assets, and you could find it. This is the severity types, and this is the complete table view of the process. The number of assets that has been defined, the information assets, the computers, the mobile assets, and the software assets. And here is where you find the service assets on the same. Maybe for an instance, I'm registering an asset. If you could find it, so this is the different types of assets that we have: information assets, computer assets, mobile assets, software assets, service assets, document assets, and the source code assets. For an instance, so let me give an example for the mobile assets in defining. I'm going to define it as new. So here is where I define my display name and the descriptions in detail. And I'm going to define the mobile asset properties, whether with the particular device type, whether it's going to be a phone or a tablet or a media player, where I define my model, the manufacturer and the service provider, and the serial name and the IMEI. So this asset model will help you track the whole assets based upon the type of the assets that we define. And this works based upon the CIA properties. So first I'm going to define the confidentiality. So maybe I'm going to give it as medium and the integrity as high and the availability as high. So which means that I'm going to get the value popping up to 7 or 8 as the asset value. So based upon the asset value, I'm going to define whether it is going to be strictly confidential, public, or for the business use. For an instance, let me give it as strictly confidential. And I'm going to define the data, whether it's going to be a personal data, a sensitive data, or a customer data. So after that, so here is where the important role plays. I'm going to assign it to the particular owner. Maybe for the instance, who's going to own the asset. Maybe ABCD is going to own the asset. And the custodian is the person who's going to make the regular review. Maybe the custodian would be the manager in the firm, or the evaluated by the managers or the CEO and the C-level people or an IT manager on the same. So based upon which location and based upon which department I will map it. And here is where the different, you add the email IDs on the same. For an instance, so as I mentioned before, so we have different functionalities for different modules. So here in this asset, I'm having the different functionalities as assessment, action, and review. At the first stage, I'm going to do the assessment. So the assessment based upon is happening based upon the frequencies, whether it's going to happen upon the monthly, the yearly, quarterly basis, and the half yearly basis on the same. And the custodian will provide the action for the particular incident that is happening and the review on the same. Quickly walking you through the BCPM. So BCPM is the Business Continuity Planning Management. So here is where the business impact analysis is being made. So at the initial stage, so here we have the business plan, implementation, acceptance, and the maintenance. For an instance, I'm going to define with the title of the particular department and the particular processes that is needed to be done, and the threat I'm going to define, and the vulnerability for an instance. So here I'm going to define the threat with a clear descriptions, and the descriptions may contain the business impact. Maybe for an instance, the business impact is going to be for the Chennai that happened as Varda. For that I'm going to create a threat descriptions here. It may be a natural disaster on the same. Once I've defined, I'm going to assign it to the particular owner whom that is I need to get it the access and the reviewed by, and I'll define the business requirements and the technical requirements and the requirements on the same. Here it also depends upon the CIA properties that I'm going to design and the assessments and the notes on the same. So here the predefined functionalities that is needed to be done is implementation and the acceptance from the higher authority and the maintenance efforts that we needed to take in control. Walking you through the incident. So is the incident works based upon, so this is the different types of incidents that we have, the priority and the category, the incident category, the department that we need to assign. And here is where I'm going to file an incident, whether it is going to be the title. I'm going to define the incident as the information request or the service request on the same. And here I'm going to define the incident category, whether it's going to be based upon the internet or the network. And I'll mark the incident on particular date that has occurred with the particular department, with the particular contact person, and the job title and the subcategory and the team. So here I define the summary of the incident that happened. So here how I'm going to do the diagnosis is very confidential, that the concerned person name is not revealed and the diagnosis is made, and finally the resolution and the solution is provided by using our tool, and finally the closure of a particular incident is done. Walking you through the control module, as I mentioned before, the controls are works based upon the particular audit process that is being mapped. For an instance, I'm going to define the classification control, whether it's going to be a preventive, corrective, or the directive action. So the preventive, as I mentioned before, is a long-term solution that is needed to be done, and the corrective action is for the short-term solutions. And the purpose of control, whether it's going to be a process or technical, and the control status, whether it's newly drafted or active or inactive on the same. So here I'll define the control info as owner, the owning group, and the owner delegate. I'll define my objective, maintenance metric descriptions in a clear, detailed manner, and the descriptions on the note. So finally, I'll get the approval, and the review process is being done, and the audit. So based upon which audit process I'm going to map, maybe for an instance, ISO 27001 batch jobs. So this is what the control measures given for the ISO 27001. Meanwhile, the various controls can be defined. So finally, the fraud. So here the predefined functionalities will be the fraud inventory and the investigations, and the review is being done. And this is, I've clearly walked you through the 8 modules, and thank you everyone for listening. Please subscribe or call us anytime for further clarifications. We'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you.